Hey, y'all. So today we have such a special episode for you. So a few days ago, I remember seeing a mom pleading for her son on social media. And at the time, I just shared the story and I didn't fully process what was happening until I saw it posted on multiple news outlets. Later, I learned that the gentleman in question was Maurice Creek and his mom, Miss Pammy. And today, I'm so honored to see through the lens of this young man that went from being stuck in the Ukraine to being back home right here in the DMV area. So, first, I want to thank you guys because I know that y'all are so overwhelmed with love and support, interviews, and all of that. So, to sit down with me, I want to thank you for even taking that time.
Thank you for having us.
Yes. So, how y'all feeling today?
Um, I'm good.
Pretty good.
How are you?
Right. I'm
It's
like,
great to be home.
listen,
It's
y'all,
great to be home.
yeah. Have y'all gotten any rest since all of this? I could imagine. I could imagine.
Even
So, huh?
I said, even still, no, you would think. I thought when he got back, everything would be not back to a complete normal, but we would be good.
Yeah.
And the first night, it was really bad for me,
Oh,
but I'm I'm working through it. But it's just I just can't explain it. It's just like my firstborn.
yeah.
It's a mother, it's a son thing. Now I got two other sons, and I tell everybody all the time, and I said it before. I got some three pretty good, cool cats. Um, it's that bond with that firstborn, and then with this experience, it's
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So, you want me to call you Maurice or Mo?
Either one is fine.
Okay, I'm gonna act like we friends. So Mo, for the listeners that they're not quite familiar with who you were before Ukraine and all this craziness, tell us a little bit about who you are.
Uh, for me, I guess I'm just a real chill guy. This man behind me raised me, and my mom raised me to be the gentleman that I am today. Everybody who knows me, people who want to get to know me, they'll see like the genuine heart that I have. Um, very soft spoken. I don't
Mhm.
really say too much, but when you get words out of me, you understand like I'm a good guy and I'm good for people.
Yeah, yeah. So tell me about why you were even in Ukraine to begin with. Like, what was that about?
Well, I played in Ukraine 3 years with 3 different teams.
Oh, okay.
So um, for this to happen, it just was a surprise to everybody. I don't think anybody expected none of this to happen. I know
Yeah.
I didn't at first until you start hearing mass media. It just starts blasting in your head every day.
I was the
Um,
mass media.
Oh, that's
yeah,
right, Dad.
he would hit me up like every 30 minutes. Hey, you see this? You see this, right? I'm like, Dad, I don't think. But when it start kind of clicking in my head, like, it's an everyday constant thing. I was like, yeah, it's about time to go.
Yeah. So how long were you even there before you were like, something's not right? Like, how did that actually work out for you to when they told you, okay, you might want to get out of here? How was that?
Well, see, the team didn't tell me. And
Oh,
I was there for 2 months. Um, so I had just got there, and people been there for like 6 months already. Season overseas is approximately 9 months. It depends
okay.
on what league you go into. So for me, I'm new. Even though I played in Ukraine, this is a new city to me. I'm starting to try to where to eat at, where to try to
Yeah.
where can I walk to, where the grocery stores is and stuff like that. So I'm still learning.
Yeah.
But to have these guys come to me like, man, we've been hearing this for like 3 months, 4 months, and I'm getting there like, wow, I just came here to play basketball.
Right.
So I just came to do something that I love to do.
Yeah.
So I mean, we've had multiple meetings about this type of situation. Us getting out, the team didn't want to let us leave because
Oh
they felt
wow.
like nothing was going to happen. They felt like they were they were downplaying it, and now that it's happened, I hope they never put somebody in this predicament ever again if they do have a league, because and guys that's going overseas, not just in Ukraine but everywhere, needs to have that certain platform in their contract. Hey, if something happens, we need a plan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We need a plan out.
Yeah.
And you know, because at the end of the day, they're going to tell you they have a plan just because they don't think it's going to actually happen. But then when it happens, they don't have no plan.
Yeah. Yeah. And I agree. And I feel like that's kind of similar to like even COVID and with this war in general. Cause like I said, I literally had just woke up, I'm scrolling online and I'm like, okay, she looks so sad and I'm sad. And I couldn't fully process what was going on. But I was like, let me share because it doesn't take anything to share. But then as I kept seeing it, I'm like, oh my God. Like, and then to find out you were from here, I'm like, okay, this is getting deep. Like, and yeah, and so like that, like I said earlier, I feel like that's when y'all became social media's family for real. Like I was like, I don't know them, but I was literally crying with you when I seen chat. We're gonna get to that airplane, but when I seen him get off that airplane, I was like, you know, first and second of all, I ain't gotta be crying like this morning, but you know, I was in all the tears. So how long were you supposed to actually be there? Because you said you had just gotten there. So how long were you supposed to be there?
I think the contract was until the end of April.
Okay.
If we would have made playoffs, which was kind of a slim chance for us, it was going to be May. Okay. So I was going to be there for another 4 months.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you had gotten to play games and stuff like that. Okay. Okay. All right. And so how did you find out that you couldn't leave? Like, I know you said the team wasn't trying to let you go, but when you actually were like, okay, it's too much, I'm out of here. How did you find out you could not leave?
Well, the process was just messy. You know, I felt like with this type of situation, when you talking about war, COVID, God related stuff, the league should just stop and getting everybody home, suspended. You know what I'm saying? Until stuff starts to die down, then you can bring it back. You don't have to, you know what I'm saying, cancel it. But until if it gets serious like how it is now, cancel it. Yeah. But to hear all this stuff and you not suspending the league, it was crazy. So what happened with that was I terminated my contract. I had my agent say, hey, yeah, it's time. You know what I'm saying? Look other places because, you know, I want to go and play somewhere else, you know, just to, you know, to do what I need to do for my family. You know what I mean? So when he called me back, he was basically saying like, I'm talking to Maurice, but I don't think they're gonna I don't think they're gonna let you go. I don't think they're gonna let you go. They're gonna try everything in their power to hold you there, knowing that you are one of their best players. You have just made their team, you know what I'm saying? They're in an uprise. They haven't won a game in months. And when I got there, they won 2 games off the rip. So to have that happen, I had a big impact on that team. So I understand the business side of it, but they've always told me be safe than sorry. Oh yeah. And at this point, it was more sorry than safe.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can't, it's a difference between an asset and a liability. And at that point, it's like, it's not worth it. Like it is a game. I understand sports are always politically important, but so is a war, you know. Yeah. So how were you actually able to get out?
Well, it was another messy situation. But you know, after the contract and stuff was over, you know, one of my actually I said one of my coach for in the summer, his name is Charlie Parker. Mm-hmm. He has a great friend and he's now family to me. Mm-hmm. But he called him up. His name is Eric Nordberg. He's like, hey dude, we need to get him out. Mm-hmm. And I told Charlie I was so scared, you know, just being in that situation. You got airplanes flying over your building. You got all this stuff. It's pitch dark at night. I'm talking about no lights. The only light you see is the light from the car if it do drive through. Wow. You know what I mean? That's all that, and the lights in my building. But I was even scared to turn the lights on because I was like, if I turn the lights on, they might shoot.
Yeah.
My building. So I had to turn on the light. I mean, just a little bit of light so I could see what I was doing. But I never thought it would come to this. But going to Eric Norberg, he had some plans for me. Of course, when you're going through a process like this, sometimes it's not easy, you know.
Yeah.
And he did his job. He did his job very well. It didn't come through as like, oh, it just actually just automatically happened, but the process kept going. He kept me positive. Everybody kept me positive. My parents kept me positive. The people that I do know kept me positive. The people I don't know kept me positive. It just was when I got through this, it was just like a big family that I thought I never had. You know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You got the whole world now, child. And mom and dad, how did y'all like find out that he wasn't able to leave?
Well, prior to him leaving, we were talking to him saying, hey, media is saying you guys need to get out. Biden has gotten on TV saying the Americans need to get out. The embassy workers need to go home. We're telling Maurice, okay, you need to leave. So let's make a plan to get you out. So that's what we were doing on our end. The flip side into what he was saying, they didn't want to let him go. They were threatening to hold his LOC. They were threatening, if you leave and we don't cancel this league, you'll never play again. Yeah, so it was a lot happening. So people think he just, oh, I'm just going to stay here for the war.
Yeah.
That's not what happened. We were working diligently to get him out. And again, luckily, this gentleman, Eric Nordberg, he had just met Maurice one time. But as he told you earlier in the interview, because of the type of person he is, he fell in love with Maurice. And when he found out that Maurice was there, he was like, we have to get him out of there. So he does what he do. He assembled a team to work with him, and they worked endlessly. I mean, we didn't even know until we met his family, and his wife was telling me, he was not sleeping. He was just doing everything that he had to do to get Maurice out of there. And I mean, we can't go into a lot of the details.
I figure.
But it was a lot. And then the in and out of the bomb shelters and the texting. I mean, we were trying, like, I was sick. I mean, I have lost literally probably 10 pounds. I wasn't eating, just crying almost every day, worried, just not leaving the house. We were trying to sleep in shifts, and that wasn't working because ultimately we just couldn't sleep because we didn't want to miss anything. And even on FaceTime with him, you're hearing these rockets and the shaking and the quaking and the shellings, and it was maddening. I mean, absolutely maddening.
Wow. So like I can't even imagine being in the middle of a movie, because that's literally what it sounds like. Like you go to sleep one day and then you wake up on a movie set that you didn't sign up for.
Exactly.
Ooh, child. So okay. So when you initially crossed the border, because I think I read that part right. How did you feel, Mo, when you were like, oh snap, I'm like going home? Like, how was that emotional process? Because you said you were very nervous and scared after a while, because you literally don't know what's going on. You have no way to prepare. But how did you feel when it was like, oh snap, this is working, this plane is coming together, and I'm going home?
Yeah, I felt so relieved. After going through those days, you can't just leave your house. You can't. It was tough. You know what I'm saying? You had to go through this bomb shelter. You had to do what was best for you. At some point in time, I thought I was going to have to take somebody's car. So, what I mean?
Grand Theft Auto, look. You gotta do what you gotta do.
That's my whole day. but I mean, it felt great that I was coming home. It was a long process even after like getting to the Moldavian border. You just see a lot of people trying to do the same thing. It's so sad. You know what I mean? Thousands of people outside, different nationalities. You know what I mean? And the fact that they would just, if I don't know if that's just the process or how things was going, but it took longer than what it should have took. You know, they had to check everybody's stuff, and it took me 9 hours to get through that board.
I said, Maurice, at one point,
What?
I said, well, how many people are in front of you? He was like, Mom, there are hundreds of people. Because when he got there, I was like, okay, I can woosah a little bit.
Yeah.
Hundreds of people in front of me. And I said, well, okay, how many people are behind you? Like 3. He was like, yeah. So I said, okay, so let's just try to conserve this battery. And then I said, I'm gonna call you every 30 minutes. He was like, no. He was like, maybe let's go every hour and a half.
Yeah.
Gotta try to conserve battery.
Yeah.
But it was so cold, and I know my child doesn't dress the way he's supposed to. You know, I'm like,
You sound like my mama.
yeah. Put on 3 pair of pants, put on 3 hoodies, put your coat on, put
Yes.
on 5 pair of socks, because you don't know how long you're gonna be out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true.
She tried to keep.
She tried
Like,
to have
he
you.
got me like this. If I gotta be able to run, I ain't even gonna be able to move.
Trying to have you in the snowsuit like back in the day.
Right.
Oh my God.
To go back into it, it was terrible, but it was a part of the process, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was worth it.
Yeah.
You know, going through the border, getting 2 drivers, one driver to take me to the Romanian border, one driver to take me through the Romanian border. It was a road, but I'm happy I'm home.
Yeah, indeed. And so mom, man, when I saw that video, I'm trying to tell you because honestly, no lies, I kept on, reaching out to my mom. My dad is like your dad, Mo. So he tell me all the news. Nick, did you hear so and so? No, daddy, what happened? So I'm like checking with everybody, like, did the guy in the Ukraine come home? Is he home? Like, because at this point I'm invested because I'm scared too. I'm like, I couldn't imagine. I have brothers. I couldn't imagine, them being there. That's the thing. And my dad is a war veteran. I still, it's a thing. Like I understand the concept of war. So, mom, how did you feel? I mean, I could tell, but how did you feel when he walked through that door at that airport, honey?
Well, we are private people, so most people that know me maybe years ago that saw me that day did not know that I am disabled. And I am standing there and I got my cane and I'm just got that cane and I'm banging the ground with this cane, like, where is my child? Where is he? Where is he? And then Mike is back there and Mike says, I see them little chicken legs.
You ain't have to get her like that.
When I saw him, there are no words. Yeah. I just, I had to grab him, hold him, and then I couldn't let him go. And then I had to pat him down. I had to look at him. They teasing me now. Telling me, did you get official training for a pat down? Because I know what he went through in that bunker. I know what he was going through in that apartment. And I heard those shellings. And although I knew physically he didn't have any holes in him, I needed to just look at him. That's why I was like, let me look at you. Let me just feel you. And let me just look at you.
Make sure anybody hurt my baby.
Yeah. And so that's what that was all about. It was, like I said, you send your child off to do something that they love to do, because this boy loves basketball, and he's done it before. I tell him, you're always traveling, and he will pick up and go anywhere. And I'm like,
okay,
right.
Listen, you better get them passports now.
Yeah. And I'm like, I just have so much respect for him for doing that. And then it's like, our child is in the middle of a war. I mean, Mike and I would literally be sitting here, like looking at each other, thinking the same thing. And he would say, Pammy, I know this boy is smack dab in the middle of a war. Like even now, it's just like, woo.
Yeah.
It is mind blowing. Mind blowing, because you have your faith, but I'm telling you, my mental and my physical was breaking down by the day.
Yeah.
But my spiritual glue is what was holding me together. And I did know every time I spoke to him, I had to be like sharp for him to keep him uplifted.
Yeah.
Every time we talked to him. But it was slowly going. And the plans that they made for the mission, we didn't know all of it. And they couldn't tell us. And it was, wow. Yeah. So when I got my hands on him, but before he came through the gate, when I met that man that went and put his life out there and took time away from his family and got his team assembled, I never met him. I'd never seen him before. I had never spoken to him. And I just embraced him like I embraced Maurice. There is nothing, I just thank God that he put the spirit in that man to do what he did, because we weren't getting it from anywhere else. I'm going to be honest with you. We were not getting it.
I was going to put my football helmet and knee brace on, and I was going over the gift.
Okay. And as my daddy would have too. Okay. And my mama would have been sitting there like, oh Lord.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy about this situation? There's so many of us that go overseas, right?
Yeah.
And all we want to do is play basketball, make our money. However way you want to spend it, it's on you. You know what I'm saying? But certain of us got different obligations, and you know what I mean? We need to, some have it to the point where they ain't got to do anything with their money. You know what I mean? Like they can do whatever they want. Some people have family related stuff. So you're going over there and you want to play the game that you love because that's what you love to do. You're not thinking about nothing like this. I'm still even thinking about the guys that I just left. You know what I mean? Like, just even the guys that I played against, the guys that I know. I played in this league 3 years, and some of my teammates now are some of the people that I played against 3 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm just thinking about all them families that got to go through the same thing, but they're Ukrainian though, so they can't leave. You know what I mean? So if you're 18 to 65, they can't leave. So now the families are getting stuck there. You know what I'm saying? For somebody's power and somebody trying to have gain and have power, it's ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They have to stop this, because at the end of the day, the people that started the war is the ones that's not getting hurt. It's the people that you know what I'm saying? It's the people that have so this much power, and then the other one now has to retaliate because they, you know what I'm saying, trying to protect their country, stuff like that. This is just madness. It's not. It's for nothing. Like at the end of the day, you get this, okay, somebody take away from you, now what? Like, you know what I mean? It's just it's bad. And so I feel bad and I feel sorry for those, and I'm praying for those who
we're still praying for those people. Everybody,
that's in
please.
Ukraine, because I mean, I built up, even though I was there for only 2 months, that was a bond and a brotherhood, going through 2 days, practice 2 times a day, playing games and stuff like that. It don't take not that much time to build a brotherhood. You know what I mean? And so we laugh together, we fight together, you know what I'm saying? We sometimes fight each other. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. We still got that care and that, that spirit about each other. Like, we don't never want nothing bad to happen to them. And it's crazy. I was talking to my trainer. Me and my trainer is really close, because he takes care of me too. Like I'm his son. You know what I mean? And I'm older than him. You know what I'm saying? So but to hear that he has to now barricade his windows, pick up his gun,
Right.
You know, so that they have to give him to fight.
Yeah.
That's terrifying to me. It hurts me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Oh
And
yeah.
then for all my teammates, I think they gotta now get guns and pick up guns and stuff like that to fight and stuff like that. And it's bad. It's terrible to me.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Was there anybody else that was still left behind, like as far as Americans, when you left, or were you the only one?
I think, oh, well, for this team that I was on, I was the last American. And I think in the league, I was the last American.
Okay. 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 And then this awesome Mr. Eric, have you been in contact with him? Do you guys
Every
still?
day,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Shout out
we
to him.
officially family.
Oh
every
yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh
I,
yeah.
I think I'm getting on his nerves. At the end of the day, he knows that I appreciate him to the fullest because without him, I don't think
Wasn't
I
looking
would be
good.
here.
Yeah, it wasn't looking good at
Oh,
all.
oh. And so I can imagine this as well, but how has this experience changed you all?
You ain't going nowhere. Can't.
It just shows you who really loves you,
Yeah,
who's
Yeah.
truly looking out for you.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
People we thought that
That
would have
cares
reached
about you.
out just to
Nothing.
check up on us didn't. And then when they heard that he was safe, then we started getting phone calls,
Wow.
that kind of thing. So, I mean, it really opens your eyes to a lot of things. But we're just, grateful that he's home, still praying for the Ukrainians and their safety, praying that the war stops, and just keeping them close, just keeping them
Yeah.
close. We have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Mo, are you getting out there anytime soon? They not to Ukraine, but are you still open to play overseas?
Uh,
Oh, mama gonna get you. She like, let me hear this answer.
The bell start
Look,
jumping when that happens. You say stuff like that.
honestly,
We have to have
yeah,
a talk.
it's a talk that we have to talk
We
about.
haven't had that conversation yet, but we have to have that conversation.
Yeah, yeah. But
I mean,
I imagine it's prepared you for all
yeah,
kinds of different things now as
right.
Right.
Even
well.
though you play the game, I mean, this is a game that I love. I've been playing it since I was 4 years old. This man behind me has instilled everything into me to be the player and the man that I am. And my mother.
Except for the jumper he got from me.
You better tell
Yeah,
him.
Y'all know she.
But it's it's a game that you love to play. And, but at the end of the day, I love my life more.
Oh, of course.
And
Absolutely.
I can't.
Absolutely.
And that going through this, I just don't know yet. So this is something that we definitely gonna have to talk about. This is something that I definitely would write a book about. This is
Oh
something
yeah.
that I feel like a lot of people, not even just basketball players or overseas basketball players, just kids in general
They
need to
need
know.
to hear.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
They
Like
need to
any sport, because everybody not going to make it to the top of the top professional league, but man, it's people that play every sport everywhere. I was just thinking about it. You got handball now. We don't have handball here.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's like different sports in every area. So it's still a business side to that though. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
That everybody needs to understand and know. So gotta get the book because I'm definitely done
Gonna be
everything.
lit.
Definitely. I'm here for it. I'll be getting it. I'll be getting it. So I
It started off at the
sincerely,
kid level.
what you say, Dad?
It started off at the kid level. From the
The-
age you up.
Yes. Well, listen, I sincerely appreciate y'all sitting down with me. Again, you're our hometown hero. Y'all are now America's, favorite family, especially Peachy County. And I do hope that, yeah, thank you. And I hope that today's been great for our listeners. Listeners, as always, email us and let us know your thoughts on today's episode at seethroughpodcast@gmail.com. And I don't know how you got here, but I thank you for coming. And as always, don't forget to see through.